Yes. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Good morning. Hello, bonjour, and tansi. Good morning and welcome to the University of Regina. My name is Aziz Douai, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies and Research. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the university, but also to the Faculty of Graduate Studies and Research. The university is situated on lands Treaty 4 lands with a presence in Treaty 6. These are the territories of the Nehiyawak, Anishinaabeg, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and the homeland of the Métis Michif Nation. Today, these lands continue to be the shared territory of many diverse peoples from near and far. I know we have probably, how many do we have online? We have in this hybrid orientation, we have about 66 students online and quite a number of you here are in person. How many of you are international students here in person? Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. And I don't have a count of how many are international joining us online. But the point of me asking is just to explain and give some context to what I just stated and shared with you. We often, for international students, just to give you a sense of what I said, we often start important meetings and events at the university and in Canada in general with a land acknowledgement like the one I just read to honor the original peoples and the nations who continue to work and live and learn here. The names of the nations that live in and around Regina, as I said, include the Nehiyawak, Anishinaabeg, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota, and the Métis Nation. This is an opportunity. The context for that land acknowledgement. Sorry, Wendy.
I gave him a record.
Okay. This is an opportunity for all of us to acknowledge and address the legacies of colonization of the colonization of indigenous lands and culture and renew our commitment to truth and reconciliation as we move together as a society, as an institution in a good way. You are just starting grad school. So as you move through grad school, you will have numerous opportunities to learn about Indigenous ways of knowing, but also about Canada's contemporary and historical relationship with Indigenous peoples as part of the GRST 800 and other events that we make possible during your journey with us. So, as I said, this is part of the university's strong commitment to create an inclusive and welcoming space for all of you. For all of you who have chosen the university as your home away from home. So many of you are new to the university, are new to our city, Regina, the province, and the country as well. So let me, for both new and continuing students and domestic as well as international students, it's time for my regular quiz. And I usually start by asking our new students here who are attending the orientation. I ask them about the province's motto. What's Saskatchewan's motto? And I have some prizes here. So anyone who guesses the province's motto will get a prize here. So what's Saskatchewan's motto? Anybody know here? Please. I'm sorry? No, it does not. That's the plate. Well, that's the motto that we see actually in the plates, the card plates, but it's not the official motto of the province. It's I had to do some digging myself when I moved to Regina, I have to say, because I thought it's the land of the living skies, right? And the skies echo that. But the official motto of the province is from many people's strength, which really celebrates what I talked about, the idea of inclusion, indigenous and multicultural heritage of the province. Who said Land of the Living Skies? You still get prize for it. For- So the next question is, what's the university's official motto? The University of Regina's official motto?
Staff don't answer.
Please go far together. No,
That's
not
a
really.
tagline.
That's a tagline.
Ah,
Fantastic, fantastic. Please. And finally, you are joining the Faculty of Graduate Studies and Research. So, can you guess how many graduate students are you joining? How many graduate students are studying here at the U of R? And for those who are online, if you guess right, just write your name and we will send you a prize via email. No, but we'll hold the prize for you. 300? No. It's up. Yeah, in thousands. 1,500? Not bad. Keep going. I heard 2,500. That's close. 3,000. That's way above. I'm giving you hints. 27. I like you in the back. Yeah. 22. I'm torn here because 25, I heard 25 and 22. So I think you guys are close. The actual number is 2,350. As of my last count. So both of you, who said 2,500? Yep. So you get one. Yeah. So a round of applause. All the way to the side. Okay, the bag. Oh. That's right. That's right. Right. Not. Oh, okay. And you still have for front. So anyway. So going back to my remarks, I'm going to try to make them short. But the point of today, again, it's really to celebrate this special day. This is one of the most special days in the calendar for all of us as we welcome new graduate students, as I said, domestic and international. As you can tell from my accent, I'm an international student. I was an international student. I was in your place. I know what it takes, and I can imagine how exciting this milestone is, not just for international students, but also for domestic students. So I do, and I was chatting with Christine on the way here, really this moment symbolizes and represents the hope and the optimism about the future that I also felt, but you're also actually feel as you embark on this journey. So I do see that hope, resilience, and sense of optimism shining here today. Actually, today is an orientation not just for graduate studies, but also for undergraduate students, and you can see the vibe around campus. So I want to really wrap up quickly by sharing with you few tips about how to not just survive grad school and university, but really thriving in grad school. So the key, simply put, is to actively participate in the graduate school community, in our events, taking advantage of the enriching professional development opportunities, being open to the free and open exchange of ideas and new collaborations with mentors, fellow graduate students, and faculty members. Our mandate here within the graduate school is to facilitate those exchanges of ideas and support you in your learning journey. So in closing, I am going to leave you with 3 things that I wish I had known when I was starting actually my graduate school. And it would apply to all of you regardless of your program. In my notes here, I said, these are the things I wish I were told when I attended my graduate school orientation. So the first one is really just remember in your journey that you belong here. You deserve to be here. You got here. It took lots of work. So remember, you are always really appreciated and a highly valued member of the University of Regina community. So the idea of belonging is genuine. Please always remember that. The second one, what's going to help you succeed and again, thrive is adopting a growth mindset. We have lots of opportunities, lots of development opportunities, and we have also, as you're going to hear from my colleagues, GATE and other opportunities that will help you learn how to learn as well, and learn how to learn from feedback and others around you. And finally, and it touches on the idea of belonging, you are not alone. If you are struggling in a course or just if you have ideas and you want to bounce them, please reach out to us as soon as you need it. With that, I'm going actually, again, just to conclude and say thank you for choosing the University of Regina. Welcome to the Faculty of Grad Studies of Graduate Studies and Research. And I'm going to turn it to our amazing team here, my colleagues, Dr. Oriet and Christine, to continue from here. So thank you so much. Good call. Just
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Christine Massing, and I'm a new associate dean. Ooh, fancy podium, with the Faculty of Graduate Studies and Research. And my home faculty is the Faculty of Education. I don't know if anyone here is in education. They're probably all teaching right now because the school year has started. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. And I didn't have that experience of going away to university. I did work internationally as a teacher in Egypt, Guatemala, Mexico, Colombia, and Japan. So I have experienced the feeling of being away from home, but I was working, so I wasn't struggling in my life abroad. We really do want to hear from you if you're experiencing any challenges. My area is student experience, and I want to know that you're having a positive experience and feel like you belong here and you're being respected as a student and as a worker if you're also working for a professor working here on campus. And you'll introduce yourself after, I guess. So FGSR is responsible for a lot of things, as you know, for admissions. You applied to the FGSR, and we have a registration team and an admissions team that help you with those aspects of your program. We offer a variety of scholarships and other funding opportunities, which we'll be talking about later. Thesis defense and graduation, again, we'll cover this in the presentation. Professional development and a successful graduate experience. And so we do have a lot of social events, and we do encourage you to come to those, and a lot of professional development events. And if you have an idea for a professional development event that you feel would be helpful to you, I want to hear from you, and we'll set something up. So you are a student of the FGSR, but you are hosted within a faculty or department or unit. So there's some examples there in science, we have science and arts, so it tends to be more departments. And so even though you are an FGSR student, there's many different things that you will go to your unit, academic unit for. Oh, we're missing that slide. Or maybe we, oh no, this is the right slide, sorry. And so these are various people that you can turn to if you're experiencing any issues. We typically suggest that you start within your unit. So your supervisor might be a graduate coordinator or admin support or graduate advisor, or even the associate dean research. But of course, there are issues that you will bring directly to us at the FGSR. But this kind of gives you a guide. They handle more of they're better equipped to advise you, for example, on what courses you need to take and so forth. Yeah, please.
Pretty good rule of thumb is that if it's an issue that you think affects all graduate students, take it to us. If it's an issue that you think affects graduate students in your program, take it to your faculty.
Thank you. Yeah, and so you can reach Chris and I at gradasocdean@uregina.ca, or of course the dean, Aziz. So that's kind of a general flow, but it'll depend what the nature of the issue is, as Chris said. Yeah. So one of the things that I'm responsible for is Grad Thrive Plus, GRST 801. I'm presuming, raise your hand if you're already registered. I hope to see everyone is already registered. If you haven't registered, you need to register for it. Because you are required to complete it in your first semester of studies. And so, so I'm overseeing that. I do have a teaching assistant, but I do read the emails that come in and so forth. And she consults very closely with me if there are any issues that she can't resolve. So I just remade the course. It has 3 modules, academic integrity, and there's several presentations and quizzes related to academic integrity, respectful, inclusive, and helpful university. So we like to cover, like we have equity, diversity, and inclusion, harassment, wellness. We hope you don't have experiences of harassment or discrimination or racism at the university, but we want to give you the tools in case issues arise. We want you to know who's there to support you and what the policies are. So we do cover that in the course. And then last, we have 4 Seasons of Reconciliation, which is kind of a little course within a course focused around colonization, truth and reconciliation, and topics, well, as Aziz discussed earlier, give you a sense for the Canadian context and the strengths of Indigenous peoples and their contributions to Canadian society. So again, it's entirely online. It's credit, non-credit. I opened it on Monday and sent a welcome email. So if you're already registered, you might have heard from me. I highly suggest that you complete it before the semester starts. It gets really busy. And it doesn't take you long, depending on your familiarity with the topic. It may take you like 5 or 6 hours or up to around 12 hours. But in any case, you can get it done quickly. And Chris will talk about why it's really important you do it in your first semester. And so our office, if you know where the gym is, we're right by the gym, floor 2A, room 227 in the kinesiology building. These are our hours, and we do like to see students stop by. And I think that's on to Chris.
Over to me. Welcome, everybody. It's really a pleasure to see you here and to welcome you to the University of Regina, and in some cases to welcome you back to the University of Regina. We're so glad that you chose to continue your graduate education with us. here at the U of R. I did want to share with you a few things kind of in the category of things that all graduate students should know. And I like to call this my 5 key messages. So the first one is that I would really encourage you to make sure that you know what you're required to register for. Of course, working with your program is necessary in order to figure out what courses you should take, but all students have minimum registration requirements. So if you are a domestic master student, you have to register in a minimum of 3 credit hours in any semester in which you are registered. You only have to register in 1 out of every 3 terms. Okay, so if you are registered, minimum 3 credit hours, and you only have to register once in every 3 terms. There are exceptions. The exceptions are if you're a Master's of Public Policy student or if you're a psychology student, in which case you have to be registered every single term of your program. Okay. For international students, you have to be registered in every single semester that you are here with us at the university. That's very, very important for compliance with the conditions of your study permit. So as an international master's student, you'll be required to register in a minimum of 6 credit hours in the fall, so this term, a minimum of 6 credit hours in the winter, and then in the spring and summer, you can drop down to a minimum of 3 credit hours. In the fall, you'll have to be registered in 6 credit hours again. In the winter, 6 credit hours, but then you can drop to 3. So it's 6 credit hours minimum registration for international master's students in the fall, 6 credit hours minimum registration for winter, and 3 credit hours minimum registration in the spring, summer. For PhD students, it's nice and simple. Every PhD student has to register every term and has to be registered for a minimum of 6 credit hours. Okay, so continuous registration, 6 credit hours every time. Okay. Any questions about that from those in the room or online? Online, I'll get to later because I don't have my computer with me, but for in the room, okay, all right. So bad things sometimes happen. As Christine noted, we really hope they don't happen to you, but sometimes they do. And so how we address that depends on how bad the thing is that you're going through. But what I really want to emphasize is that if you are in trouble with a course, if you realize you're not going to be able to complete the course, you need to talk to your instructor right away. Okay, your instructor will most likely sympathize with you, will most likely understand your situation, and will most likely be willing to support you in seeking a deferral of the work that you have outstanding. Okay, so what that means is that if you're registered here in the fall and it comes November, or you're getting to the point where you have to submit a final term paper and something terrible happens and you can't submit that paper, you need to talk to your instructor and say, hey, I don't think I'm going to get this done in time. Can I have an extension? And if they say yes, that's great. If it goes beyond the end of the term and you're actually going to need to hand in that assignment in the following term, then you're going to need a deferral. Okay, you need to have an approved deferral. You need permission to do that. You can't just sort of hand it in whenever, right? Even if the instructor says so. You need a deferral and it has to be approved by a number of different people, okay? So you want to talk to them about that process. You want to say, hey, I think I need a deferral. Can we talk about that? Okay. If you need to, you may get to a point where you need to withdraw from a course, but I really want to caution you if you're an international student about withdrawing. We don't really have any control over how that is perceived by RCC when they're looking at whether you're in compliance with your study permit or if you go later on to apply for a different study permit or for a postgraduate work permit. So from our side, we know that when we see a W on your transcript, it means that you just decided that this course wasn't for you and you've decided that you're not going to take it and you've withdrawn yourself from the course. Okay. But what they read that as is you weren't registered. Okay. So if you've got 6 credit hours that you're registered in and you withdraw from one class, at the end of the semester, you'll have a grade for 3 credit hours, but a W for the other 3. And they may read that as you only attended one class, you were part-time, therefore you're not compliant with your study permit. Okay, so please don't, if you're an international student, please don't withdraw yourself from classes without talking to us in FGSR or somebody in your home academic unit or UR International to make sure you understand fully the potential implications of that. Okay. If things are really not going well for you, you can request a leave of absence. And this is an option that is even available to international students. Okay, so if you need to, for medical or compassionate reasons, you want to opt out of registering for a semester or 2, or even 3, depending on the circumstances, okay, we can help you with that. right? So you want to speak with your academic unit and arrange for a leave of absence in that case, and that will exempt you from having to register, and you will still be in compliance with your study permit if you're an international student, because that is something that they allow. Approved leaves of absence that are approved by the university are exempt from the registration requirement. Okay, but I really want to emphasize you have to have an approved leave of absence from the university. You can't just leave. Okay. And finally, if things are really not going well, you can voluntarily withdraw from your program. Again, this is an extreme measure, but it's not the end of the world. It happens sometimes. Sometimes people have things that, if you're an international student, things happen back in your home country and you just have to go. And you can come back and resume your studies at a later time as long as the academic unit supports you in that. So again, you don't want to do that without talking to somebody and understanding fully the implications of doing that. But that is an option if it comes to that. That may be better than just failing out of your program, okay? But to withdraw yourself before that happens, all right? Okay, said enough about that. So for your program requirements, and you're choosing your program requirements, I really want to emphasize that you need to take a look at what is required to get your degree. Sometimes some programs will have a requirement that gets you 0 credit hours. It counts for 0 credit hours. That means you don't pay tuition for it, hooray. But it's still required. Okay, so I don't want you to see a requirement that says 0 credit hours as, oh, that's optional, I don't have to do it. Okay, there are some things that are required, but that are associated with 0 credit hours. And the reason why it's 0 credit hours is because we don't want you to have to pay tuition for those things. Okay, a great example is GRST 801, which Christine talked about, right? You're all registered in that, and it is 0 credit hours. You have to do it. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's 0 credit hours. Students sometimes get that mixed up. In graduate school, as a graduate student, any class you take, you have to pass with a 70% or better. Okay, if it's graded as a no credit, then you have to get credit. Okay, that's the pass line, so to speak, 70%. It doesn't matter if it's an undergraduate class. Okay, so as a graduate student, now if you are taking an undergraduate class as part of your program, okay, it still has to be passed with a 70 for you to get credit. Right? I really want to make that clear. It doesn't matter that all the undergrads just have to get a 50 to get their credit. You have to get 70 as a graduate student. Okay, everybody clear on that? 70 is the pass line, all right? Don't fail classes. Failing classes causes difficulties. You fail one class to be put on academic probation, which limits your access to scholarships and other things. If you fail 2 classes, you'll be required to discontinue from your program altogether. Okay, so unlike undergraduate, where you may be able to fail classes and then just take them again or whatever else, in graduate school, things are very prescribed. There are a lot of rules, like a lot of rules around graduate students. And I apologize for that. There just are. So you have a program of study. If you want to change that program of study, you need permission to do so. You can't just take any class you want. If you want to add a class, just, you're interested in learning Mandarin, so you decide you're going to take an undergraduate class in that, you need permission to do that. Not only that, you have to pass that class. Okay, so any class that you add as extra to your program still counts as part of your program and must be passed in order for you to remain in good standing in your program. Okay, so I just want to make that very clear that the 2 failure limit applies to absolutely everything that you do, whether it's thesis research hours, whether it's a course you took just for fun, whether it's an undergraduate course or a graduate course. Fail twice, required to discontinue. Okay, so let's be very clear on that. All right. Everybody else gets the fun stuff. I get that. Don't do this. And the next thing I want you to know is that you have a graduate program coordinator within your academic unit. In some units, this is a staff member whose job is solely to help graduate students. In other units, it's a faculty member who takes this on as part of their service. Okay, so I've got the names here for the graduate coordinators for each of the non-departmentalized faculties. If you're in science, arts, or media, art, and performance, then you're in a departmentalized faculty, and it's your department that has its own graduate coordinator, and you'll need to reach out to that person. Okay, you can find out who that person is by reaching out to us if you're not sure. Chances are they've already reached out to you to welcome you to the program, but make sure you know who your graduate coordinator is, because that's the person that can provide you with the guidance about what courses you should take and what you should do if you don't want to be in this class and want to be in this one instead, and so on. Okay, they're really good people to know. They're super helpful. They're your first stop. Unless you have a thesis or project supervisor, they're your first stop always when you're looking for assistance. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, academic integrity. I'm gonna have a lot more to say about this after this session. I'm hosting a workshop on academic integrity. And if you're not sure about the rules, you're just not super confident that you know what the expectations are around academic integrity, I invite you to stay. It's right after this session. Just stay online if you're online, or stay here in the room, and I'll be presenting that after. But what I really want to emphasize is that it's your responsibility to make sure that you understand the rules of academic integrity. We help you with that by including, well, first of all, this workshop that's going to follow this, but also within Grad Thrive Plus. That's why you have to do it in your first term, because it's really important that you know the rules, okay? As graduate students, you probably already know that you should not be copying and pasting when you have to write a paper or complete an assignment. If you're copying and pasting, that's not writing. That's not doing any work at all. My daughter is 12. She can copy and paste and, you know, could do it just as well in the graduate program if that's all required as anybody else, okay? So obviously there's more to it than that. Copying and pasting the output of a generative AI application, also not doing what we're supposed to be doing in graduate school. Okay, that's a clear violation of our expectations around academic integrity. Okay, so one thing I really want to emphasize, if you're not sticking around for the session after, is that it's really important to talk to your instructor if you are planning to use any kind of AI tool or any kind of AI assisted writing technology. This includes Grammarly. Okay, make sure that you read the syllabus carefully. Every instructor has different rules. We don't have a university-wide policy about the use of generative AI applications or AI in general. Okay, so each instructor can set their own rules, and it's your responsibility to make sure you know what the rules are for this class that you're in right now. Okay, if you plan to use one of those applications, talk to your instructor. I can't emphasize that enough. It'll help clear up any misunderstandings, right? Say, this is the tool I want to use, and here's how I plan to use it. Is that okay? Okay, they might say, oh yeah, I use that tool all the time myself. That's a great tool and you should absolutely use that, go right on ahead. Or they might say, no, you can't. No, they have learning objectives for the course in mind when they set out the course, right? And they know which learning objectives can be met while allowing AI technologies, and which objectives would be undermined by allowing those technologies. So we have to defer to instructors. They know best what's right for their course. And that's the rule, okay? So make sure that if you're planning to use any kind of technology to assist you with your writing or with your assignments or your coursework or your thesis research or anything, that you're transparent about it. You're open and transparent and having that discussion with your instructor or your supervisor or whoever else to say, this is what I want to use and this is how I plan to use it, okay? All right. I'm going to turn it over to Tanya.
This is advanced. Tanchet, bon matin. Good morning, everybody. I am Tanya Gates. I am the grad thesis coordinator for FGSR. And I know that some of you are going, oh my God, I just got here. I will not be doing my thesis defense for 2 to 5 years. Why is this woman talking to me? And it's just so that you know that there is a grad thesis and defense coordinator. So, we offer a variety of supports. This slide, some of the information will be changing. We've got a bit of change going on in my area. So it means that the supports that I provide going forward will change. But the place to start is the FGSR's thesis defense and graduation web pages. That's the place to start. And so we have a variety of templates, guides, frequently asked questions, all of those kinds of things. And our seminars and workshops will also change, but at any rate, we'll figure that out as we go along. And the other thing that I need you guys to know right from the start is that graduation at the University of Regina is not automatic. So once you've met your program requirements, you have to actually apply to graduate. You have to let us know that you want to graduate. I know from a lot of other institutions, that's pretty counterintuitive, but it's how we do it here. There are 2 application for graduation windows. There's spring convocation, so applications for that open on August 1st and go through to January 31st. And that's if you meet your requirements in either the spring, summer, fall, or winter semester, and you want to convocate in the spring. There is also a fall convocation window that opens on February 1st and it closes on July 31st. Typically, it's for people who are finishing their program requirements in spring, summer, like technically right now, and who want to convocate in the fall. As always, if you have any questions, the first thing you do is email me like, hey, I think I'm getting close. When do I need to apply? Should I apply? How do I apply? What do I need to do to be eligible for graduation? You email Grad Defense. So grad.defense@uregina.ca. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Melissa Dick, and I am the coordinator for graduate scholarships and awards in FGSR. And I'm just gonna go over a few things we're funding so you have an idea of our funding supports for you. So FGSR has supported in 2024, we managed about 8.5 million in funding. So there's lots of funding out there for you. And so there's various different ways you can get funding. And so there's external funding options like Tri-Council funding, which is national funding. Most of that's open for domestic students, but there's other external places you can look as well. There's donor funded awards. So that's funding that people donate to the University of Regina, and those scholarships are in our graduate awards portal, and we hold competitions 3 times a year for that program. And then there's funding that's provided from FGSR, and we give it out to the academic units, and then the academic units will nominate you for those scholarships. You don't apply for them. And then, of course, there's direct funding. So students that have like supervisors might receive stipend funding or maybe salary work payments from them. So there's those types of funding. And then we also don't want you to miss out on funding. So here's a few key things that we really want you to remember. So we already talked about Grad Thrive Plus. Please complete that in your first semester, because many of our FGSR funding programs, if you don't complete this in your first semester, you are no longer eligible for those funding programs. So please make sure you complete that. If you want to be a graduate teaching assistant, we also have a course called GTech, which is Graduate Teaching Enhancement course. We will, for your first graduate teaching assistant, we will register you in that course for you. But if you want to get ahead of the game, we do offer it also a registration course for other students that want to take it before they have a GTA. And then, of course, many of our scholarships require a GPA of 80%. So you want to try and keep your average up if you're interested in applying for scholarships. So don't miss out on funding by accident. And then here's just a little bit more information about the Graduate Teaching Enhancement course. The next course coming up is on October 16th, and you can register that on our scholarship funding page. Oh, I'm sorry. You have a question? Yeah, if you haven't taken it before, we will register you. We will notify you that we've registered you in the course, and to check your self-service for your registration for the time and date. The one that students can register in themselves, we usually do 2 sessions, one that we register students in that we know they're getting a GTA in the semester, and if they haven't taken it, and then there's this October 16th one that you can register yourself in. Sorry, I think I heard oh, yes. Mhm. Yeah, no, I agree with Aziz. That's a good idea. Just one thing to note is that when you do take this course, it is an in-person session, so you need to do the in-person part of the course. And then there will be some assignments to complete after to get the grade. So it is a pass fail, but it's no cost to you. But to get the pass, you need to also do the assignments and hand them in. For our GTA, so the graduate teaching assistant, we require this GTEC course to be taken. Yeah, you still have to take it. It's part of the requirement of holding like our terms of reference for the GTA. Now, if you're doing a teaching assistant that's bought through your department, it's not a graduate teaching assistant. They don't require it, but we still really recommend that you take it because it'll only benefit you. Yes. That's correct. And then we're happy to help with any of your funding questions. We are a team of 3. You can email us at grad.funding@uregina.ca. We will be hosting the Graduate Awards Portal How to Apply session on September 10th at 10:30. It is via Zoom, and you can find it on our scholarship and funding website to register for that event. And I highly recommend, if you're interested in applying for scholarships, that you come. We walk you through the whole process, how to set up your profile in there and how to apply for scholarships. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I'm Wendy Forsberg. I'm the Student Experience Coordinator. So now that you've heard all the stuff about academics, now I get to talk about all the fun stuff we do. So first of all, you got a grad digest this morning, hopefully at 9 a.m. the email went out. That is our monthly newsletter. Inside it will be all the workshops, everything that's been talked about so far for workshops, any events that are happening, and anything else that might be of interest to grad students. So just have a quick look through that. It comes out at the first business day of every month, but we always send it out before orientation. It will go to your uregina.ca account, not your preferred. It will always go to your uregina one. Also, we also have a UR grad experience website that has all of the events, all of the activities that we promote, everything that is happening, anything big like Research Week, 3MT competition, the Summer Research Institute, that will all be hosted here. And then there's an events page. So what Melissa was saying about all the funding workshops that are coming up, there also will be on the big events calendar on that page. So for us, we host a variety of different options. So we have grad night with free nachos. It'll be at Trifons, which is literally just down here at the Lab Cafe next Wednesday from 4 to 6. You just come, we give you a ticket, and you get free nachos on us. It's a great way to meet other students from other faculties, in your own faculty, just to meet a bunch of people. We have coffee with the dean. We usually host those about 2 times a term. That's your opportunity to meet with Christine, Chris, and Aziz. We do a little informal in our boardroom where you can talk about any kind of issues or concerns that you might want brought to our attention. And there are usually snacks for that as well. We offer writing tutors through the Student Success Center. So you just go on their website, URPath, and you can book time if you need help with your writing. And there's also a variety of other events. And that's my email, which I'll be on later slide. For each term, my department, well, I guess that's just me, has one kind of major event. In the fall, we offer the Research Week. It's running this year from October 27th to the 31st. If you are a researcher and you want to do like a poster do a poster for the poster competition, or if you want to present your research, doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're in the middle, we welcome everybody to give a chance to talk about your stuff. And there are usually cash prizes around those events. Then in January through March, we have our 3MT competition, which is an international competition for 3-minute thesis where you have one slide and you talk about your research in 3 minutes. There's a series of workshops, there's a heat competition, and then 8 finalists go on. And there's cash prizes associated with the winners. And then the winner goes on to Westerns. If the winner wins there, they go on to nationals. 2 years ago, our winner went all the way to North Americans. So it's a great opportunity to talk about your research to a larger group of people, because the finale is in Dark Hall, which is at the other campus, with about 300 community people. And so you get to talk to lots of people. And we just wrapped up our summer program, which is the Summer Research Institute. It runs from May to August with a series of workshops. And then at the last kind of end day, we do a presentation and poster competition. So it's a great chance to learn. The workshops are like, Chris teaches an open research workshop. There's a lit review workshop, presentation skills, a poster skills, and Indigenous research methodologies. So it's all kind of help supplement whatever research you might be working on, those kind of workshops. And then at the end, there is a poster and a presentation with more cash prizes. So not only funding opportunities, but ways to win some opportunities. So if you have any ideas, other things that we don't see in the Grad Digest that you think might be useful to you, or you and a group of friends think there might be something, just reach out, let me know. And that's my email, gradengagement@uregina.ca. Right. So there are 3 student groups on campus that are of interest to you. I don't know if anyone from Inspire came. So Inspire is a student-led organization, and they offer a variety of workshops. Lots of them times it's on the research, like the data analysis, techie stuff that I don't know anything about yet because I haven't gotten that far. They also offer like some mixers. And in February, they also do a research symposium to highlight student research. Oops. Kwaku, are you still here? Perfect. Come on up.
Hi, everyone. I think it's past 11, so I'm going to try and speak as fast as possible. My name is Kwaku AUC. I'm a PhD candidate at Johnson Shoyama Graduate School of Public Policy. I'm also the VP of Finance with the BIPOC Graduate Students Association. It was created in the fall of 2022, so we're sort of entering into our 4th year. And it's basically a group that strives to provide a platform or an environment for students who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color to network, to meet, to have some of their questions answered by sort of a support system for BIPOC graduate students at the U of R. And our organizational structure also includes a VP of External Relations and a VP of Events. And we also have coordinators for each of those, under each of those VP positions as well. And some of the programs that we've had in the past and will continue to have in the future, we've had some social events, which include potlucks, we've had barbecues, we've had bowling events, but we've also had informational events where we've invited speakers in different fields to come and share pieces of information on different important things to BIPOC graduate students. And we'll continue to have that as well. And we're also planning to have or put in place a mentorship program where we can pair up BIPOC graduate students with BIPOC faculty so they can pick their brain and see what sort of value they can get from them as well. So please contact us if you want to join the group. Our email address is over there, grad.bipoc@uregina.ca. And when you send us an email, if you're also interested in joining our WhatsApp group, please also indicate. So we do share different pieces of information if there are job opportunities, whether internally or outside that someone comes across. We share it there, or if someone has questions, we try as much as possible. If we're not able to answer, we can direct you to who can answer. So thank you and welcome.
And we also have the University of Regina GSA, which is the Grad Students Association, which is the larger umbrella organization. They have funding opportunities. There's some scholarships on their website. They also help sponsor lots of our events. Speaking of which, in front of you, you should have one of these. This is the FGSR bingo. So between today and next Friday, if you can try to get one line completed, and come to our pizza party next Friday. You have to register online so we know how many people and diet restrictions. We will be using these as prize to draw for prizes. So just a fun thing to do, little activities. Some of it should be easy to mark off, like the very middle square that says read the Grad Digest. All right, so we'll see you maybe next Friday at our pizza, and if not, Wednesday night at grad night. I'm going to hand it over to Ashley and Hannah.
All right. Hi, everybody. Okay, my name's Ashley.
My name's Hannah, and we work with the GATE Center. So we are the Graduate Advanced Training and Entrepreneurship Center here on campus, and we are really excited to tell you more about what we do.
All right. So we're kind of like a new form underneath of FGSR. So we're going into the end of our first year. So we're just starting our second year. So we have some really exciting pieces and events and opportunities for all of you to get involved in. But Graduate Advanced Training and Entrepreneurship is a mouthful. And what does that mean? So 50%, so the advanced training, that piece kind of falls under career development and career readiness. And then the other 50% is entrepreneurship. So more so the introductory / exploratory tools to kind of get you started and interested in entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship isn't just for business students or engineering students. It's really open to any faculty. And that's something that's really exciting about GATE is that we work with all graduate students across all faculties. So arts, science, engineering, everybody, we want you to all come and be involved in what we're offering you at GATE. So the area that I kind of focus on is the advanced training. So that's the career and professional development piece. So a couple really exciting pieces that we have coming up. We have partnered with the Center of Experiential Service Learning to offer you Careers Week training. So that's going to get you ready for the career fair. So that'll provide you some executive understanding of how to do like really great communication skills, how to showcase yourself, how to network, and get you ready for the career fair. And then we have the reverse career fair. So this one's a little bit different, but like the tables are turned and you guys are kind of like the stars of the show. So it's professional speed networking, where the employers, we bring them in specific to what your focus is. So if you are a business student, we would bring in businesses. I guess that's a bad example. If you're my bad. If you are a petroleum engineer, then we would bring in obviously somebody from like BHP or Mosaic to come and speak to you specifically about kind of what your background is and kind of what you're building your master's towards. And then you get to speak to specific employers and they'll kind of rotate through. So that gives you a really great opportunity to showcase your skills and really start to build your network. And then from there, we also have the President Keshen Regina Chamber of Commerce event. So this one is an exclusive event. this is really exciting because he gets to go and shoulder tap a lot of his CEO friends. We have a panelist discussion and they showcase what they're looking for in future employers. And then you get to network with them afterwards. So this isn't something that's open to all students. You do have to qualify for the Reverse Career Fair and for the President Keshen event to be sure that you are eligible to attend those events. And then new this year, we have GATE at the Summit. And so that's a full professional development day where we'll have speakers and panelists come in, and it's a full conference. So it's a day that's going to be specific for graduate students, and you'll have the ability to learn from different community members and industry professionals. Okay, that was a lot. But now Hannah's area, very exciting. So here we go.
Hello, everybody again. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our innovation and entrepreneurship programs. And just to reiterate, entrepreneurship is a very broad term that we use. And so this includes social innovation, people working on nonprofits, people working on side hustles, maybe tech startups, traditional businesses. So it means a wide range of things. And so I put up a couple of quotes. So an entrepreneur is someone who has a vision for something and a want to create. And so maybe you're not in business, maybe you're not in engineering. There is like a really important place for the folks in social work, nursing, education. So I'd love to connect and tell you more about it. But we have, I guess, 4 big things that we work on. So Startup 101 Bootcamp. We're going to be going into, I guess it's going to be our 3rd year putting it on here. And so this is where we bring in angel investors, industry folks, local incubators, development companies, and we're really bringing in people who have worked and experienced the tech industry to come in and help teach you about a startup and how to create it. And then that culminates in a pitch competition. And so there's some prizes up for grabs. And what we're trying to do is prepare you to go forward and get into an incubator, develop your business, and yes. And then we also have a new initiative this year. It's called GATE Goes To. And so this is connecting all of you brilliant folks to real world problems. So almost 2 weeks exactly to the day, I was on a farm in Southeast Saskatchewan with it was 6 researchers that were interested to learn more about the problems experienced on a farm. And so we had a personal tour. I was like literally like 2 meters away from cows. We were in like cornfields taller than I was. So it's really experiential learning opportunities. And you do have a little card that outlines a couple more GATE Goes To events. So we'll be going to the Women Entrepreneurs of Saskatchewan Conference, and I have a discount code for that if you want to come. And so we're really working on connecting you all with real world problems. And then we have our Navigate program. So this is a one-on-one customized pathfinding program. And I work with you to figure out what your goals are and what your goals are for your business. And so I've worked with people who wanted to figure out how to finance a podcast they were making. I've worked with someone who wanted to optimize wind turbines. I've worked with someone who wanted to sell chicken wings out of their dorm room. That's a tough one. I don't know if you want to try it, but I'll work with you on, I guess, any sort of entrepreneurial initiative you want. I guess another example is food security initiatives. So it's really a lot of different things we can help you out with. And real talk with GATE. So we're just going to make a space to hang out and talk and connect with each other. So this is going to be happening bi-weekly in the fall semester. So if you have any sort of challenge with your entrepreneurship endeavor, come in and we'll have a chat with it. Maybe you can connect with your peers. Maybe you want to practice a pitch. You can do that. So it's really a space for you all to connect and gather with a huge variety of different innovators. Yeah. And truly stay in touch. And I wanted to give one example. Today, I was contacted by a student who had been part of our reverse career fair. And I had kind of suggested she connect with this nonprofit organization and apply for a board member position. And she got the position. And so I think that just goes to show that a lot of our opportunities will help you create real world impact once you're done your studies.
All right, great. Fantastic. That was a lot of information, but hopefully you guys scan our QR code and then we can follow up with you. Because it would be really exciting if we could show you our new space and then get you involved in some of our really exciting opportunities. But we're gonna pass it back to Wendy. Okay, here we go.
Music it off. Okay, so that is the end of the orientation part. Chris is going to come up next with the academic integrity.